Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Jeremy, founder of QuickMail.io.
Hey, and this is Jack, Chief Lead Generation Officer at salesbread.com. Jeremy, tell us how to run a cold email campaign that buys businesses. Go.
Well, you just said, I got a bunch of money. Do you want it? It's not that really difficult. In fact, this is interesting because both type of campaigns are working pretty well. I actually did reply to one recently. And so that's what, prompted the idea. And then Jack said that, top secret stuff about that too. So I think it's, why not? Let's just jump. Let's do an episode if you're trying to buy. But you wanted something more spicy, right? Something harder.
More difficult. Yeah. So Jeremy suggested let's talk about how to run a campaign that buys tech companies. I told Jeremy that was too easy. Let's make it a little bit more challenging from a list building perspective. Why? Because you're listening to this cast and you're thinking, well, gee golly, I'm not about to buy a business, so maybe I should just go to the next episode. However, if you listen to the full part of this cast, you're going to see how I would build, in my opinion, a more like complex list. What is it? Let's say we wanted to find the email addresses of the owners of family-owned brick and mortars that had multiple locations, but less than 5. Okay, now wheels are turning. I like this.
So easy.
Jeremy likes it less, but it's easy. It's easy. Okay,
so easy. I just hire you, Jack.
Which brings us to our sponsorship.
Oh yeah.
Today, most B2B companies lack the time and or expertise to turn cold prospects into, yes, leads. So at salesbread.com, we bring you 1 lead per day by using ultra personalized cold emails and LinkedIn messages. If you want to talk strategy with yours truly, I am still taking these sales calls. If you go to salesbread.com/contact, tell me what you're working on, tell me what you're selling. I'll share some ideas. If it's interesting, we can hop on the phone. salesbread.com/contact. Jeremy.
Love it. You're still taking sales calls. Well, been working for 7 years on QuickMail, one of the best cold email outreach platform, and I still work to it today, and I still do demo calls. So welcome to the club. If you're looking for better deliverability, maybe you got some problem with your existing provider, which would not be something surprising, shall I say, then, feel free to hop on QuickMail, give it a go. You got 14 days trial and you got the auto warmer that you can stay on forever for free. So give it a go.
What's not to love?
Yeah.
Okay, so here we are building a list of these family-owned brick and mortars with multiple locations, but not more than 5. We need the email address. And mind you, this is an audience that is typically frustrating us cold emailers because brick and mortar businesses tend to be less noticeable online. They're less likely to have their names wind up in a database that you've paid for. They're less likely to end up on your sales nav searches, but you still need their contact details. So how do we do that? And then, of course, we got to make sure to cover what to say in the message, right?
Okay.
Even though that's
cool. What I'm thinking, Jack, is isn't that like too broad? Like if I'm buying businesses, would I actually buy just chiropractors, for example, or mechanic, people, or something like specific? Like would I go there, or would I just like say any family-owned business type of thing?
You need to get a lot more specific because
got it.
As of now, family brick and mortar with multiple locations, but not more than 5. That's and it's exhausting. And the problem is you're going to tell, even if you had a team of list builders, they're not going to know which direction to take this. So luckily it's really easy. Hold on one sec. It's pretty easy. What you need to do is just look back at what you've had success with in the past, and then go and find similar companies. That's it. So the first thing I would ask the client is, what kinds of companies have you bought lately? What kinds of brick and mortar, retail, auto, transmission, print shops, whatever. Look at the past 2 years worth of things that, that have happened and just pick the most common bucket of companies. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so let's pick one. Boutique apparel shops,
Okay.
clothing,
Yeah.
whatever. All right. So we
Who
need a
wants to
list.
buy
So
that
here's,
these days? But fair enough. Let's roll with
yeah,
it.
let's roll with it. Yeah. What we would
Okay.
do is for brick and mortar, I always start on Yelp. And Yelp has an API that will take you 40% there. So what you're going to do is register for the free API key, and it will allow you to plug in type of business. So you're going to say like apparel or clothing. I'm not sure what their tag is, but find up to 5 tags that might land on the right kind of company. Then it'll ask you input cities. So what I do is I just find top 100 cities in the US. If it's a US based campaign, you can expand it to
Clever.
top 250 cities. And then you're going to say for each type of business and for each city and list of cities, you're going to like query Yelp's API and return. I think they give you like the top 500 results per each city and per tag. So it's going to give you like 100,000 rows, 300,000 rows. I don't know, a lot of data, but you're not quite there yet. That's going to just give you the URL for the business on Yelp. It won't give you the actual website, which we need. So then you're going to create a second scraper that's going to visit. Stay with me, non-technical people. It's still important because if Jeremy's passing out on me, but if you have to hire someone for this, as long as you tell them exactly what I'm doing, a good scraper will just do it. They won't have a problem with it. Then the next piece will be take every Yelp URL that it found and crawl it using Crawlera or Scrapy or there's even a nifty tool called Appify that has some modules for that. Whatever, you have to scrape about 300,000 Yelp listings to extract the URL and the phone number. Okay, and the name, and get all the stuff you can, the review count. It may come in handy to narrow this list down.
Yeah.
Okay, so then what you do is you say, okay, this is kind of clever, but you're going to say, for each company website that it finds, I want you to remove all of the results that have just one occurrence in the list. Those are going to be rows with just one location. Because if you have 3 locations, they're all going to the same root domain, right? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So then you would just remove all the single locations and then remove those that had more than 5 occurrences, because those are like way too much. So now you have a list of apparel boutique shops that have more than one location but less than 5. And now you just need to whittle it down to family owned. And then I think we're there, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So then you might take, say, the 40,000 remaining, and you would want to crawl all of those websites for the key term family or family owned or family dash owned.
Well, do you think all the websites are actually putting this information? Because I was like thinking,
a lot of them
actually find that information
on the about page. If like what I've noticed is B2C companies that they have to tell a story, and for some reason family owned is a marketing term. It's a buzz term. Like it's proudly shared on labels, even tags of clothing items, like, family owned. You'd be shocked at how many, if it's family owned, there's a 90% chance it's on their about page. So essentially you're just looking for pages that contain the word family run. You're going to add that to a second list that may be only like 9,000 results. And of those, then you would want to have like a small team do like a careful review of where the word family owned came up. If it's on the about page, it should take like somebody, if you can provide them the snippet where it was found, it's pretty quick work just to manually spot check. Or you could be smart about it and say, we're not going to manually spot check until we actually get a bona fide email address for this person, right? Then you could spot check it after the fact. So we basically covered everything, Jeremy, except for finding the name, the email,
right? Because otherwise you can phone, right?
Yeah, you've got the phone.
At the end of
which
the
is
day,
pretty
this is called outreach, right? So you could effectively just pick up the phone and just
It's true.
ask for the email of whoever, I don't know if that would work
No.
very well, like, calling the shop and say, hey, look, I'm looking to, to buy your business, fire your ass. Can you give me the email details of of
Yeah,
your boss,
right,
please?
right. I'm the person who's going to fire you in 6 months. Right. No, so what I would do to find the email address, again, I lean on scrapers for this. You would build like a regex scraper that's going to find email patterns that appear on a website.
And
So,
regex for people who are not technical, just like a pattern,
regular
right?
expression,
Yeah,
right?
regular expression.
Regular expression. It can basically find an email address if it contains the @ sign and a dot and a couple letters before and in between and whatever. So then it would just say if Mary at strawberrybike.com showed up on, the website, if it matches the domain, that's 9 times out of 10 the domain, the
Clever.
owner's email. And so we just built the list pretty much, right? In like 5
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah, it could be.
Was that boring? I can't tell if that's boring or not. I like it.
You get excited by building lists. I don't.
It's so weird.
I get more
It's so weird.
excited by what we're actually telling them,
Yeah.
and how we actually pique their interest more than necessarily how to contact them.
Yeah.
Like, this is not my
Okay.
thing. I know it's great, it's your thing, which is awesome. That's where the
Yeah.
synergy comes on this cast.
Okay.
Okay.
So what do we write to these fine folks? And by the way, I do get a lot of enjoyment out of copywriting stuff too. So with that, what do we say here? What's the big idea?
Well, I got a pile of money. Do you want it?
And to be honest, Jeremy, if that's all you wrote, you'd probably do okay. I'm serious. No, Gary Halbert, as famously said, there's no boring way to tell someone they've won the lottery.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you are going to make their lunch hour interesting. If you can tell them you are considering giving them a considerable amount of quiche, right? So that's kind of what you need to say.
Agree.
Go ahead.
Here's a few things that I think you need to consider for a successful campaign like that to work. One of the thing is build on your past successes. And it's simple. If you bought already like 6 businesses in that, range, then I think this is a no-brainer. Like, this person's probably not going to waste my time. They've been through a lot of deals, so they're serious.
Okay. Can I stop you there? Because we've at SalesBread, we've run a couple of these outreach campaigns getting, essentially leads for business acquisition folk. And that's the number one objection. Is this a serious offer? Are you guys serious? Are you
Boom. I can buy
generally
businesses
interested? You know what else we've gotten? It says, are you trolling for leads, or are you generally interested in buying my business?
Trolling for leads?
Yeah, it's like shotgun approach. Are you just fishing for leads?
Oh, as in, but as in what? Like, leads for what?
As in, are you sending this to any boutique clothing shop in the country, or are you generally interested in buying strawberrybikes.com? You see what I'm saying? Now, and in my opinion, that is the only battle you are fighting if you are doing this kind of campaign. Showing the person that you're serious about having a conversation about buying their business, and not just, again, to quote the actual person, trolling for leads. So how do you do that? And you mentioned, you mentioned drawing on your past track record, if you will. Yeah. And that goes a bit far. We have purchased boutique shops like Strawberry Bikes, including blank and blank, to show someone that you're serious, right? That's well and good. But I think today, if you really want success, you've got to take it one more level and tell them, what was it about their business that struck your attention? And I might say, look, we're looking for a children's apparel with 3 locations, no more, no less. You see, like, and the nice thing is you have the number of locations from the data, and you can just, very cost effectively add in what kind of clothing shop they are. And that is kind of all you need to do here. I don't even think you need to do the first line personalization thing for this campaign.
Agreed.
Just come straight out why you want to buy their business, then tell them you're serious. You've done this, in, past 2 years, you bought X and Y. Even better, tell them that you're looking in that geography.
Yeah, I was about to say it. Bummer.
Oh,
So
yes.
for specifically
Sure.
a business with at least one office in Chicago, for example, or stuff like that, right?
Why does that work, you think?
Because it's more
Why would-
personalized. It's like, oh, okay, that really means my business is a potential one. So here's the thing. I did receive an offer recently.
Hold on.
Yeah.
My business is a potential one, and that boutique across the street is not, nor is the one in Tampa, nor is it. I'm the, let's say,
I'm selling
the attractive person invited to the party.
There you go.
I'm been selected. Yes.
I'm the one selling the clothes for children. I'm not selling appliance like a trash compactor machine or stuff like that, right?
There you go. There you go.
I
So go ahead. You were starting to say about
so I received offer constantly. Well, constantly is a big word. Sorry, I do receive from time to time some of the offers, right? And very often it's just like people are willing to waste my time.
To be clear, I should say I should clarify. These are offers, inquiries maybe. Not like, hey, I'll pay you X.
No,
right?
no, of course, no. This is not like offers like that. No, this is more like, hey, we're looking to buy businesses.
There you go.
Is your business up to sell?
There you go.
I always say no. But the thing is, recently had a really good one. I think the sentence was wrong, but it had all the elements that was interesting. Like one thing that they did is they mentioned we just acquired someone else in a similar space. So they were actually, I think, phone number data company, right?
Oh, cool.
And so they're looking for companies in that space that could complement that product. And I thought, well, if you got the data, then you got quick mail. Yeah. So it was making sense, right? Suddenly it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense to why you would want to buy my business specifically.
Nice.
And the second thing they say is they led with, you could see it in the press. Like, I represent this company. You could see it in the press. We acquired XYZ, and then they also give the article of that. So it's like, oh, they prove.
How did they do that? Just the URL or they hyperlinked press to the article?
Yes, exactly. As you may have seen in the press, and then there is a link. We recently acquired that, and so we're looking for whatever.
They're serious.
Yeah, I looked, and then basically something like, and then they carried on with saying we recently acquired 6 other people in that space. And so, are you looking, to sell? And so the other thing is the acquisition of the other one was also a very high number. And so that also proved that, they are not the guy who just want to pay 10K or 20K or those sort of like wasting, time with like small numbers kind of thing. So I thought that was probably the best one I received in a very long time.
So if we had if you didn't reply to them, it would probably be helpful to include the purchase price in a follow-up email in case you didn't click the article link.
Ooh, that's clever.
Right?
You could do that in QuickMail, actually. I'm always thinking, can I do that in QuickMail? Yeah, you could do that in QuickMail with,
like if link does not click.
Yeah, exactly. Conditional clicks.
That's interesting. But
I like that. Yeah.
It sounds like that's a selling point you would want to include, right? And so the CTA, I think that's the only thing we haven't addressed in terms of messaging. But
I would put something else actually. And in this case, I don't know if it makes sense or not. You tell me. But I would also think if this is a family owned, they may be more worried about their employees. And so therefore, I will sort of either do a PS or a follow-up with just saying, this is a philosophy on how we acquire business. We're not looking to cut costs or whatever. We're actually looking to keep the employees for a long time. Whatever could actually reassure whatever is my target audience, right?
Great idea.
And I will tell you, this is where we're different, to other people just bringing money. We also, take care of the employees. We don't try to look cursed. We're only looking for synergies, in the area to
long-term,
whatever. Yeah, exactly. Long-term stuff. For a lot of people, that doesn't make sense. Right. So maybe a
Be-
follow-up, maybe a PS, maybe
Yeah.
a link to your philosophy, probably
Yeah.
less effective, but yeah.
Because as an aside, that's an interesting point. If you're going after family owned, I love that you brought that up, because I do know, in fact, my neighbor used to be like this New York finance guy who would buy companies. And he told me, like, one night over like tequila, he's like, if you buy certain companies, the sum is worth, what is it? The individual parts are worth far more than the sum of all of them.
That's
So
right.
like, he's like, for 10 years, he would be that bastard who would buy and disrupt or break apart a company to like just get
To sell the individual
more.
parts to get more money out
Exactly.
of it. Yeah, makes
So
sense.
that's, you have to know what stereotype you're fighting against when your message comes through, because if they
Good one.
put you in the, oh, this is a New York, money hungry bastard, you're going to be on this, there's a word, it's like
Misconception,
preconception.
preconcept.
Yeah, I think it's an archetype where like you just have
Yeah.
you've labeled somebody as something that you know. And so if you can separate yourself from that, all the better. So good copywriting insights, I suppose. Anything else? Did we do it?
I think that's okay for the copywriting. Of course, we could talk about the follow-ups and stuff. It could be, a follow-up could be, especially if you're doing a geographical stuff, it could be very much like, look, I'm in the neighborhood, maybe next month, would there be an opportunity for us to have lunch together or something like that, right? Maybe it's too much, maybe it's not too much, but again, it depends on your target audience. Maybe they need to build this sort of like confidence being close together, or, I invite you or whatever.
Yeah, I'll share one more thing. As outreach campaigns typically are, timing is everything. So you should keep in mind that people you reach out to today may sell you their business in 6 years. And that's
section
okay.
of each town. That'd be grim. That'd be a
That's
bit
bad.
grim.
That's
But that's
grim.
timely.
No, it's not. It's not like that. It's not like that. What you're doing, Jeremy, is you want to make sure it's not a now or never tone in your email. It's like, are you open to talking numbers? That works quite well. Follow-up might be able to say, is selling something you might be looking into in the next 5 years? If not, no worries. And that way you're acknowledging that these people, by the way, you can narrow this down again by age of company. That's one thing that I would do, but would not discuss on a podcast because it's a little bit too geeky. But you can say, all right, and businesses that have only been around for at least 20 years, to say that the founder may be retirement-ish age. And maybe if it's family run and all their kids are terrible things, they might be, from a timing perspective, ready for this message. Yeah.
Good
so
one.
Something else to consider. I think
like
I'm done for this growth chat though.
All right, cool.
But we do have a course
where
all of this gets taken to the next level. Should we talk about this?
No.
Yes. No. Next time.
Tell us.
No, it's course.quickmail.io. People like it. It's the follow-up conversation if you like the podcast. It's the podcast cooler older brother that goes way more in depth on all things cold email, list building, automations, how to handle leads. Somebody I was talking to today said, Jack, you're in Jeremy's course, does it actually help if you are reaching out to old leads that have come in 6 months ago, but they're like not in the picture anymore? And I said, no, I'm just, I'm joking. The idea is,
too late, guys.
If you are good at writing cold emails, then you'll find the right approach to go after your dead leads. Also, dead leads are way easier to re-engage than people you've never got a response from. Just
don't forget
they are.
Anyway.
Yeah. And also there's that whole section on managing replies and then outsourcing automation that will eventually help you get to a point where those leads don't go cold on you without the proper follow-ups, whether or not you're working, right? So you a robust I guess cold, but yeah, it's more stuff should you be so inclined. Did you want to add anything, Jeremy?
I think you did it perfectly, man.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
Thanks, everyone. Great cast, Jack.
Thanks, Jeremy.
See you later.
See you next time.